Good evening and welcome to the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series 2026 Season C Race number 2 here, the Myrtle Beach 400 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And we've got a pretty big field showing up tonight here. Looks like we got 15 cars registered for tonight's event, a 200-lap feature event for 15 cars, 200 laps around this very short, bumpy track in South Carolina, looking for a real good show tonight. And it's all thanks to our sponsors at IRD Racing. Going into qualifying right now, top of the charts in practice goes to car number 1, Lyle Mitchell. Him and Mark Sakoshi have been top of their game. Sakoshi looking to follow up on his championship run last season. And let's get a quick peek on the cars already out to do qualifying. One of those drivers is car number 13, Tony Kurgel in the Duplicolor Ford, coming out onto the track right now to start his qualifying laps. Now, Myrtle Beach is pretty interesting because there's multiple lines you can run. So as we see Tony Kurgel start his first lap, you can see that he's running kind of high on entry. The optimal line is you want to enter a little bit high and then cut down on exit, and then you can run turns 3 and 4 all sorts of ways. You can see that he's running about a lane off the bottom. Let's see if he switches it up into his second lap. This is going to be his fast lap coming up right here. Looks like he's not able to cut the car down on exit to kind of straighten it out. That's going to lose him a little bit of time. And then, he gets really loose on exit, has to fight that car. That lap is not going to be as good as his first lap. So, best time right now for Tony Kurgel, a 19.584. But Lyle Mitchell, you just saw him respawn in pit lane. He just set a 19.141. So that's the current pole time at the moment. But you'll also notice on the inside of turns 1 and 2, there are little bumps, almost like a rumble strip, on the inside of the corner. You can see them right. You can see right at the edge of the shot in the bottom right corner. There's little bumps on the inside there, and that will upset your car if you go over them. So it's very important that you try to get the car as low as possible without running them over, so you could be in for a world of hurt. Adam DeFore coming out of turn number 4, going to set a 19.359 for his second lap, so he's currently 5th on the board. Current pole goes to Mark Sakoshi in car number 8, but someone trying to fight for that pole position is car number 59, Justin Cope. He just went 3rd on the board on his first lap, getting all the way down there below the dotted lines in turns 3 and 4, coming across the stripe. 19.273, not enough to get pole, but provisionally currently good enough for 3rd place. Now, pretty big news coming in to this race. The National Sim Racing admins have decided to penalize car number 3, that's Brian Wiggins, with a 1-lap hold at the beginning of this race due to an incident at Daytona where they deemed that he intentionally brought out an unnecessary yellow flag. So that's someone we're going to have to watch throughout this field, because we've seen Brian Wiggins with a lot of speed throughout his tenure here in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series, and I would not be surprised if he catches a caution and works his way to the front throughout this race. Very long race for Myrtle Beach, 200 laps. Lots can happen within that time frame, but just over a minute left in qualifying, so why don't we give out a quick shout out to our sponsor, IRD Racing out of Brooksville, Florida. IRD Racing Carburetors, a custom carburetor company that believes that there is no one-size-fits-all. With over a decade plus of experience, IRD Racing has capitalized on the latest technology that can accelerate your real-world racing programs. They're known for their nitrous and boosted style custom racing carburetors, along with their high winding, naturally aspirated carburetors as well. And on top of their very prestigious drag racing program, they have a lot of accomplishments in the circle track and amateur road race scenes as well with their race winning design. So if you're looking to take your real world racing program to the next level, especially in the area of carburetors and fuel injection technology, don't be afraid to hit up IRD Racing. There's a reason why people call them the king of carburetors, and that's because of their superior customer service and parts quality. So qualifying just wrapping up right now, going into a 5-minute warm-up period, so drivers can get any technical gremlins worked out. See if anyone goes on track to get some last-minute testing in. Have some new faces here for this race. Number 46, Terry Freer. Haven't seen him before in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series, but making his first start, at least to my eyes, in car number 46, looking to leave a good impression on this field in his debut. Someone who debuted last week at Daytona, car number 91, Zachary Scott, in the Snap-on Greedy Goblin Racing entry. Sharp-looking car, and he's had some speed, looking to put it together to put a good result forward. Pretty interesting story after Daytona. Elijah Grant came home with the win at Daytona, his first National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series win. And that currently puts him at the top of the point standings, since this is only race 2. But he'll get to relish that spot and maybe even improve upon it if he can find some speed throughout this race. See anyone else out on track right now. Tony Kurgel looking pretty fast, currently third on the board in warm-ups right now. But someone who is topping those charts, it's car number 3, Brian Wiggins. Now, I said earlier that he would have to serve a 1-lap hold at the beginning of this race. He's already going to be behind the 8 ball, but with the speed that he's showing, especially in race pace, there is no reason to assume that he will not be a force to be reckoned with in the later stages of this race. Adam DeFore setting some fast times, a fast time of 19.269 in this 5-minute warm-up session. You see him get just a little bit too eager in turn 1 and 2, and it got the car loose. He got over those rumble strips, and it upset the car's balance. Something you don't want to do. You can get away with it if you do it just right, but you hit those curves wrong, and you are in a world of trouble. DeFore working on the back end of Elijah Grant right in front of him. But it looks like DeFore is trying to just get a feel for the car in race conditions. And we're going to see a lot of people using different lines in turns 3 and 4. You can use that middle lane or the bottom side. As you see, Lyle Mitchell, your second place, so your outside pole sitter, getting his car warmed up, crossing the stripe, 19.335, currently 5th on the board right now. But we know that those Mark Sakoshi Inc. cars are very fast as the race wears on. So I would not be surprised to see this number 1 car in the conversation for the win. As he went to the top of the boards in warm-ups while we were talking about him, 19.26, so by about 0.03 of a second over Adam DeFore. Lyle Mitchell takes the top spot in warm-ups. Doesn't count for any points or anything, but it's a good indicator of how fast this number 1 Tracker Boats entry is. Going through the field, we still have some familiar faces. Dylan Lansdell still drives car number 24 and currently in 5th right now, so we know that he has some pretty solid speed. Let's see. Ray Partridge in car number 29, going back to the silver and black Good Wrench colors of car number 29. Saw him run a variety of different schemes throughout the season last season, and he's looking to bring back a classic with that number 29 Good Wrench entry. Tony Kurgel, car number 13, still bringing back all the fancy colors that his number 13 Ford is known for. Came up just short in the championship race last season to Mark Sikoshi, but he's looking to add another ring to his name after he won the 2026 Season A championship. But warm-up coming to a close, and we can start with your starting lineup in just one moment once the session transfers over. All right, starting on pole, it's going to be car number 8, Mark Sikoshi, and his teammate Lyle Mitchell in car number 1. Mark Sikoshi Racing locking out the front row here at Myrtle Beach. Starting in 3rd, it's going to be Justin Cope in car number 59. We've seen how effective he is here on the short tracks. And Tony Kurgel starting on his outside. A stacked top 5, with it being rounded out by Adam Gracie in car number 17. We saw him win at South Boston last season, so we know how he can navigate these tight short tracks with lots of cars on him. Adam DeFore looking to improve upon last season and have a better shot at the championship, and starting from the 6th position, he has a little bit of ways to go before he can get up there. Ray Partridge in car number 29, starting in 7th, and on his outside is going to be number 45 of Colton English, starting in 8th. Good qualifying result from Colton English for his standards. Inside of row number 5 is car number 24, Dylan Lansdell, and on his outside is going to be last week's winner, Elijah Grant, in car number 4. Jason Crumley, first car outside the top 10 in car number 28, and on his outside it's going to be Robert Wiggins in car number 26. Row 7, it's going to be Zachary Scott and Terry Freer, 2 fresh faces to National Sim Racing, looking to make their mark on this series, making up row number 7. And then rounding out your field of 15 cars, it's Brian Wiggins, who's going to serve a 1-lap hold in pit lane at the drop of the green flag. So Mark Sikoshi leading this field to the green flag. He's got Lyle Mitchell on his outside. Pace car is in, waiting for the green flag to drop. Green flag is out. Mark Sikoshi and Lyle Mitchell get a decent start. Mark Sikoshi with a preferred line entering into turn 1. He's going to clear that 1 car. Lyle Mitchell and Justin Cope going at it for the 2nd place as Justin Cope looks to the inside of Mitchell, trying to work his way around and try and separate the Mark Sikoshi Inc. drivers, as now Justin Cope looks to the inside of Sikoshi. He's going to pole vault his way to the lead as Mark Sikoshi ran high in turn 1. Going to lose that spot to Lyle Mitchell as well. Now he's going to be under fire from Adam Gracie for the 3rd spot. So if Sikoshi isn't careful, he might lose 3 spots in just a couple of laps. And Gracie's going to really fire it to the inside of Sikoshi into turn 1. Going to try to get clear. Sikoshi going to fight back on the outside, but Gracie's going to get clear of Sikoshi, and Sikoshi's not able to jump down to the inside because Tony Kurgel is there in car number 13. So We're only 4 laps in, and Mark Sakoshi has only gone backwards. A little bit of a lockup from Kurgel on the inside of Sakoshi, but no harm, no foul done from car number 13, and Mark Sakoshi finally able to slot into the preferred line, but he's going to go from 1st to 5th in only a matter of about 5 laps as Justin Cope leads the way. And already coming up on a lapped car here, Robert Wiggins pit started, and he pulls out right in front of Justin Cope. But speaking of cars that had to start in pit lane, Brian Wiggins back out on track right now. But he's going to be 1 lap down, and he's no longer the first car 1 lap down, as Robert Wiggins gets put a lap down by Justin Cope. Further through the field, Ray Partridge looking to find something on Mark Sakoshi, but not able to get to his outside. Saw him peek outside into the corners. You can see how hard he's driving it into the corners, really trying to find some grip up there to use on exit. And it's keeping him ahead of 7th place Adam DeFore right now. But it's not really helping him out in his effort to get around Sakoshi. Further up front for 2nd, Adam Gracie all over the back end of Lyle Mitchell, as Gracie looks to take the 2nd spot from car number 1, but caution is out. And sources are telling me it's Zachary Scott around in turns 1, so a pretty bad start for car number 91, but a late camera angle does not tell the whole story. Let's see what happened. Going to standby just 1 second to see what happened to car number 91. So coming into turn 1, looks like Scott just overcooks the entry, maybe a little bit too hard on the brakes. That car just kicks sideways and not able to get it right at just in time. It spins to the inside and brings out the caution. As, ooh, something happened with Ray Partridge. Let's get a standby real quick to see what happened to Partridge, as he was sideways with some damage down the back straight. So looking at Partridge, gets loose out of 2, and that's a concrete wall right in front of him. Locks it down, but he will get a little bit of damage as he noses the inside wall. But at a short track like this, that is very negligible, and I doubt it's going to really affect him too bad. So Robert Wiggins gets the lucky dog and is waved around the pace car. Brian Wiggins probably not too happy with his brother, that his brother pit started and prevented him from getting the lucky dog. But patience rewards those who wait, and I think that in due time, Brian Wiggins will probably get back on the lead lap, especially now that he's grouped up with the lead pack. But 11 laps in the books right now, and your top 5 is as follows: Justin Cope, Lyle Mitchell, Adam Gracie, Tony Kurgel, and Mark Sakoshi. Base car lights are off, and it looks like it's going to be a single file restart here at Myrtle Beach. Now, there was a poll between the drivers whether caution laps should count or not, because a 4-tire stop might put drivers a lap down. Drivers narrowly voted in favor of making caution laps count. So caution laps do count in this race, but Justin Cope leading the field to the restart, the first restart of tonight's event in the Myrtle Beach 400. Green flag is out. Good start by Justin Cope, and Wiggins gonna try to keep that inside lane from Lyle Mitchell. And this is gonna really benefit Justin Cope, because he's gonna be able to get away unimpeded. And now Adam Gracie having to work around that 3 car of Brian Wiggins. Gonna try to get clear, but Wiggins fighting back on the inside of Gracie. Gracie gonna have to use that middle lane and stay on the outside of Wiggins. A little bit of a loose moment from Wiggins as Gracie fires it to the outside of the lapped car of Brian Wiggins, but he's gonna have to get a big charge on the outside, which he does. He's going to try to move Wiggins down the track to get a better entrance into 1. Wiggins not budging one bit. He wants to stay as close to the leaders as possible so he can so he can get unlapped as soon as possible. Pushes up a little bit in the corner, almost gets into Gracie. But these two still side by side as they cross the start-finish line. Coming into turn 1, advantage to Brian Wiggins. Gracie gets a little bit slick through the center of the corner. Here comes Wiggins to the inside. Both these drivers fighting hard, and you can see Tony Kurgel kind of waiting in the wings, but he's under fire from Mark Sikoshi right behind him. Battle for 4th heating up right now, an actual battle for position instead of a lead lap car trying to put a car a lap down. But Mark Sikoshi looks to the inside of Tony Kurgel, gonna have the advantage on the inside line out of 4, but not clear just yet. Here comes Kurgel on the outside. Sikoshi gonna dive it in, try to make it stick, and yeah, Kurgel is gonna slot in right behind him, in between him and Adam DeFore. So Mark Sikoshi trying to make his spots that he lost on the initial start back up. But right now, Justin Cope is out to a pretty healthy lead, 1.2 seconds separating him and Lyle Mitchell in 2nd place right now. See further in the back for 4th, Mark Sikoshi trying to get around Brian Wiggins. And Wiggins not really giving him a good time. Battle for 10th right now or for 9th, I apologize, as Jason Crumley trying to work his way around Elijah Grant, gets the move made, and he's going to move into the 9th spot. But laps at this track ticking by very quickly. Laps are only in the 20-second range, even when the tires start to fall off, they'll get into the 20-second range. So if this goes flag to flag, which Brian Wiggins desperately does not want, we have about an hour of green flag racing. So a lot of time for this field to eventually settle out to its natural running order, assuming we don't get any cautions. But very easy to upset the car here at Myrtle Beach, as you can see just how on edge that number 3 of Brian Wiggins is, trying to hold off Mark Sikoshi on his inside. Adam Gracie has to be thanking his lucky stars that he got around that 3 car when he did, because Brian Wiggins is not making Mark Sikoshi's life easy at all. And Adam Gracie is trying to hunt down the number 1 car for 2nd place. And being stuck behind Brian Wiggins has opened the door for Tony Kurgel as he looks at the inside of Mark Sikoshi into turn 1. Doesn't really get that good of an entry. Now it's going to compromise his exit subsequently. But Kurgel looking to make a spot back up to that number 8 car, who might have put some extra heat in those tires trying to battle the 3 car so hard. But you can see the kind of line that Sikoshi is running in turns 1 and 2, kind of entering middle and hitting a really late apex, trying to straighten out the corner. And that's one of the ways you can run turn 1. That's what makes it Myrtle Beach so unique. There's so many ways you can run the corners here. As you see, Brian Wiggins goes way up the track, and that's finally going to allow Mark Sikoshi to try and sneak on by, but Wiggins going to fight hard on the outside, using that forward momentum that outside has in turns 3 and 4, dead even across the stripe between these 2 drivers. As Wiggins got a little bit loose in turn 2, and Sikoshi finally puts car number 3 in his mirror. Tony Kurgel wants to get around Wiggins ASAP so he can continue fighting Mark Sikoshi. Wiggins gonna go to the high side and try and get a run off the corner to hold off car number 13. But he gets a little bit loose, had to get out of the throttle, and here comes Tony Kurgel to the inside of Brian Wiggins to try and put him in his mirror. If I'm Brian Wiggins, I'm hoping for a caution ASAP so he can get a new set of tires and maybe a little bit of a pit stop adjustment, because that car is dead sideways, seems more often than not, in turns 1 and 2. Currently in the lead. A little bit of lap traffic in front of our leader, Justin Cope. We saw how strong he was at IRP last season, and he is putting belt to the field right now by about 2 seconds as he puts first-timer Tony Freer in car number 46 1 lap down. Freer just trying to get a feel for this league. And I tell you what, he hasn't done anything wrong yet. 32 out of 200 laps in a very tough race. In so far, I'd say that he's doing a solid job in car number 46. But 2.1 seconds behind him, it's Lyle Mitchell in car number 1 in second place. Slowly getting his gap into bit by bit by Adam Gracie in third, car number 17. Both of them running pretty equal lap times. As you see Lyle Mitchell get around the 46 without too much of a fuss. Then in fourth, it is the other MSI driver, Mark Sakoshi, in car number 8. In fourth, and behind him, Tony Kurgel, having to fight off a spirited drive from Adam DeFore all over his back bumper, and that's the battle for fifth. But we see Tony Kurgel get loose into turn 1. Car goes around, and that brings out the caution that Brian Wiggins was not looking for, because it took so long to, they went green for so long that Tony Freer went a lap down before the caution came out. So it looks like Tony Freer will get the lucky dog. And Tony Kurgel actually towed the car. He didn't get the car fired up, so he's going to be going multiple laps down. Don't know why he called the tow truck, but he's now 2 laps down and most likely going to go multiple laps down. And he's going to need a miracle to get back on the lead lap. Maybe that was a tow out of frustration. I mean, no replay necessary. We saw what happened. Car number 13 just completely lost it into turn 1 under pressure from Adam DeFore right behind him. But none of the leaders choosing to go into pit lane. Only a couple cars in the middle of the field towards the back. Ray Partridge and Zachary Scott going into pit lane here. No one else choosing to go in either, besides Jason Crumley, who goes a lap down in pit lane. You can see Brian Wiggins is going to jump into pit lane and try and get a set of tires on car number 3. Probably earned it after battling so hard, but unfortunately he does not get rewarded in the form of getting his lap back via the lucky dog. But pace car lights are off, so we'll be going green flag racing for the second restart of the Myrtle Beach 400, going to lap number 40 out of 200 here. And Justin Cope, who took the lead by force very early on in this race, has not relinquished it yet and shows no signs of stopping as he leads the field into turn 3 as the pace car comes into pit lane and waiting for the green flag to drop here. And green flag is out. A great start by Justin Cope as he gets a big jump on the rest of the field. The field kind of spread out a little bit as Tony Freer loses the lap that he just got back under pit lane. But Lyle Mitchell and Adam Gracie fighting for second. Almost contact made between cars 1 and 17. Gracie shoots to the inside of Lyle Mitchell, gonna try and get a good turn down the hill, and they're gonna be side by side down the back straight. Advantage to Gracie entering the corner, but Lyle Mitchell not giving him a lot of room to work with on entry, and Mitchell might be able to clear that 17 car, but the curve straight of Myrtle Beach gonna bite him a little bit as Gracie able to hang on to his quarter panel. And Gracie still side by side with Lyle Mitchell entering turn 3 for second place. Gracie a little bit loose on the inside of Lyle Mitchell. A little bit of contact made between cars 17 and 1. That moves Mitchell up the track, but he's going to have a great exit of turn 2, and he's going to clear Adam Gracie. So Adam Gracie going to have to settle back into the third position right now, as that has allowed Justin and Cope to pull away from these two as they've been battling. Gap now at a 1.5 second distance between first and second, but now Lyle Mitchell gets loose on the exit, and that's going to fight Gracie, but there's Tony Freer on the inside. Whoa, hairy spot to catch a lap car on the bottom. Not where the lap car wants to be, but in his defense, he was just pulling out of pit lane, so he didn't really have the opportunity to get up high as two leaders were battling for second place. But things seem to have settled down a little bit for second, at least seemingly, as Adam Gracie now moves to the inside of Lyle Mitchell, using all the brake that he can in that car without spinning it out. And you can see just how free that 17 car is as he dives to the inside of Lyle Mitchell into turn number 3. These two battling is allowing Adam DeFore and Mark Sakoshi to join in on the fun. But Lyle Mitchell doing a good job of holding off that number 17 car right now. And one would imagine that Adam Grace is putting a lot of heat in those tires with those bold moves on entry, kind of using up the goodwill in them. As you can see, Mark Sakoshi now moving to the inside of Adam Gracie. Gracie going to close off that, but oh, he really overdrives the corner and gets into Sakoshi.
Slow her down.
And they both end up backing it into the turn 1 wall. That was a weird wreck. I think Gracie was trying to not get hit by Sakoshi, but it's not like Sakoshi was gonna. It's not like I thought that Sakoshi was going to hit Gracie. It's a weird stack up type of wreck. Let's get a super slow-mo going right here. So looking at Adam Gracie right now, that black and blue car number 17, and it looks like he just goes into turn 1 too hot. And he has to really slow up not to hit Lyle Mitchell. So he locks it up a little bit, and then right behind him is Mark Sakoshi trying to go high to get around Gracie, not expecting Gracie to move up high as well. And contact is made as Sakoshi try to get to his outside, but Gracie went to the outside. So I'd say, that's just more of a racing incident. But damage to the back end of both of those cars. More damage to the back end of Gracie than Sakoshi, but that's going to send both of them to the back as they're going to get a fresh set of Goodyear tires on those cars, but so is most of the field. The only cars to not go into pit lane are Zachary Scott and Jonathan Crumley, who did not go into pit lane last time by, as actually not Jonathan Crumley, Jason Crumley, sorry. And it looks like Jason Crumley dropping back a few spots. So Zachary Scott on 15 lap old tires, a 13 lap tire difference between first and second place. Going to lead us to the third restart of tonight's event, and everything's getting kind of hairy up here as Dylan Lansdale is trying to catch up to the field. But Zachary Scott leading us to the green flag on the outside. Car number 91, green flag is out, and Scott's gonna lead the way, and he's just immediately gonna jump to the outside and let Justin go by. I think he said, I led my laps, you can have at it, but we have a huge gaggle of cars in front as Colton English goes around. Oh, there's Zachary Scott straight into Colton English. I'm sure that's not what Zachary Scott was envisioning when he let everyone by. I'm sure he was hoping that the exact opposite would happen and that he wouldn't get involved in an accident. But that was just a series of unfortunate events. Let's get a replay of what happened to that, because we were in the process of switching the camera to Justin Cope. It was really mostly caused by kind of confusion on the restart, as drivers weren't exactly sure where to start, and it kind of led to a massive bunching up. So looking at the replay, currently focused on car number 45, the NASCAR of Colton English. Down the back straightaway, you can see Justin Cope right behind him. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like English just braked a lot earlier than Cope was expecting. And that sends Cope into the back of English, and then nowhere for Zachary Scott to go, as he's already committed to that high line. And good avoidance by Lyle Mitchell to not hit Justin Cope and create a massive accordion effect. But as the caution came out while Justin Cope was still in the lead, that allows him to retain the lead under caution. So hopefully a less chaotic race or restart will be in order this time. But something interesting to note is that Robert Wiggins, despite starting from the pits at the beginning of this race, is in the top 5. He's worked his way into the top 5 after that calamitous restart. So good work by driver of car number 26 to get into the top 5, and we've seen how he can pull a good finish out of seemingly thin air. We saw him do it at Michigan. I think he is more than capable of doing it here at Myrtle Beach if he keeps that car clean. But Pace Car is going to pull into pit lane here. So for the, I believe, 4th restart of tonight's Myrtle Beach 400, it's going to be Justin Cope leading Lyle Mitchell and the rest of this field to the green flag. Green flag is out. A good start by Justin Cope, and you see Colton English with some damage on the inside. Adam Grace is going to be the first car to meet him into turn 1. I think Gracie's going to send it into turn 3. Yes, he does. DeFore is going to do the same to try and get around car number 45 as quickly as possible. See DeFore trying to get around English. English gets loose, and oh, he gets into Adam DeFore. Ooh, watch out. Ooh, a little bit of contact from Robert Wiggins. We were just talking about him. But Colton English loses it on the inside of Adam DeFore. And that, if Robert Wiggins was able to slow down in time, that would have been basically no damage to DeFore, but a little bit of side damage for Adam DeFore. Let's get a replay to see what happened to cars number 5 and 45. So coming into turn 1, you can see that NOS number 45 of Colton English already losing it on entry and trying to chase it up the track, and unfortunately he chases it right into the quarter panel of DeFore. Robert Wiggins hard on the brakes, trying not to lock up the tires, and gently nudges the side of that 5 car. Luckily not crazy damage to any participant, but definitely a little bit frustrating for both Adam DeFore and Robert Wiggins, as they kind of have to now work their way back through the field after being in the top 5. With 61 laps out, or 62 laps out of 200 underway here at Myrtle Beach, and your leader remains Justin Cope. He's refused to relinquish the lead ever since he got it from the start, unless you count Zachary Scott leading the way on one of the restarts by staying out. But your top 5 right now is Justin Cope, Lyle Mitchell, Adam Gracie, Ray Partridge, and Elijah Grant. Grant, last week's Daytona winner, making his way into the top 5, looking to capitalize off of a great result from the first race of the season. Lining up on the inside of Justin Cope, it's going to be Terry Freer and Brian Wiggins. Both of these cars are multiple laps down. Brian Wiggins 2 laps down, and Terry Freer 3 laps down. Base car is in, and Justin Cope leading us back to the green flag. Hopefully this green flag run will be a little bit longer. The green flag is out. Good start by Cope once again. Lyle Mitchell starting to wise up to Justin Cope's starts now, and closing in ever closer on those starts, but still about a half second separating Cope and Mitchell. Gracie gets a good start, and he's already to the back end of Lyle Mitchell. As Mark Sakoshi looks at the inside of Elijah Grant for the 5th spot, and now Sakoshi takes spot number 5 from car number 4, as he's going to work all over the back end of Terry Freer to get around him. Adam DeFore, who is involved in the last caution, already looking to work on the 91 of Zachary Scott, who is 2 laps down, and try and catch the next car for position. You saw him go over the rumble strips a little bit scary to do so, as they can pitch your cars sideways, but it looks like he was able to keep that car straight. And you can see Robert Wiggins back in 9th, trying to work his way back to the field. As whoa, big lockup from Jason Crumley. He had to nail the brakes to avoid hitting Dylan Lansdell in car number 24. See Adam DeFore looking to the inside of Tony Freer, and he's going to also look to the inside of Elijah Grant for position. So DeFore looking to the inside of Grant for the 6th spot, as he's going to pull ahead, but Grant going to try to fire hard on the outside, using that positive momentum to his advantage, but looks like DeFore has the stronger car and the shorter way around the track. As whoa, Grant really overshot the corner, slams into the outside wall. Surprised he didn't damage that number 4 car more doing that, with how hard he hit the outside wall. And these are pretty solid concrete walls. That might give him some wheel damage, as he lets car number 5 by. So Adam DeFore into the 6th position. Further up ahead, Mark Sakoshi working on the 29 of Ray Partridge for the 4th spot. Partridge to the high side doesn't give Sakoshi a lot of a fight, and lets Sakoshi have the 4th spot. But back in the lead, it's Justin Cope with a spotless car, trying to extend his gap over Lyle Mitchell to about a second. Lyle Mitchell just barely faster last time by half a tenth. Justin Cope's going to have to keep a close eye on that distance between him, but he just gained a 1/10.5 on Lyle Mitchell that time by, so I think he doesn't have to worry too much. Further in the back for 7th, Elijah Grant and Robert Wiggins going at it, and now Jason Crumley looking to get a spot from Elijah Grant, trying to relegate that 4 car back into the 9th position, as Crumley looks at the inside of car number 4. Side by side for the 8th spot, as Crumley really trying to paint that white line at the bottom of the track, and Grant trying to give as much space to Crumley as possible. Crumley should have a pretty good exit to get around car number 4, and he's going to get clear into the 8th position. Goes car number 28, and now Grant has to worry about the 91 of Zachary Scott to his inside. But further up front, Adam Gracie is starting to close in on the back end of Lyle Mitchell. The gap has shrunk to half a second between second and third place. And I think Justin Cope would be really happy to see second and third battling, so he can pull out to a nice, comfortable lead and not take the car as hard around this track, because this track does like to chew up and spit out tires. Well, let's get an onboard shot with Adam Gracie to see kind of the different lines that him and Mitchell are taking. So going into 3, you can see how hard Gracie takes it into the corner and kind of uses the brakes to pin it to the bottom, while Lyle Mitchell kind of just rolls the car through 3 and 4, and it looks like Mitchell's a little bit lower in 1 and 2. But Mitchell trying to pull away and doing so as Gracie is getting really loose at exit, so he might have to tighten up that car just a little bit, as looks like car number 17 getting pretty loose, as you saw him run over the edge of the rumble strips as he tried to cut off as much of the exit of the corner as possible. Very lucky that that did not pitch that already unstable 17 car sideways. But the car to beat right now is that number 59 of Justin Cope. Fastest car on track right now by about half a tenth. The second fastest car is actually in 4th right now, and that's Mark Sikoshi. The last time by, Mark Sikoshi was incrementally faster than Justin Cope, so these two running about equal times. So maybe these two will be the cars to look out for, but Mark Sikoshi not having the best luck in this race so far, looking to use a long green flag run to his advantage to slowly work his way up to the front. But a 4th place run for him right now is nothing to scoff at, especially in a field of 15 cars. We do have our first retirement of the race so far. That's unfortunately Tony Kergel, car number 13. He retired 33 laps ago on lap 51, I think, after he towed the car. But Sikoshi now pulling up to the back end of Adam Gracie as the track starts to get cooler when the sun starts to set. And now Sikoshi to the inside of Gracie exiting turn 2. Gracie going to try to fight back on that outside, but Sikoshi is there, going to use that grip to his advantage. Almost pushes out into Gracie. Has to get out of the throttle to not hit the 17 car. But now Gracie in that unstable 17 gets a little bit loose on entry, trying to use the power to to hold on to the outside of Sikoshi, but it's not going to be able to work. But now Gracie right behind him. Will he look to the inside of Sikoshi into turn 1? He's thinking about it, but he's not quite there, as he's going to slide up to the high side. And this is going to allow Sikoshi to start slowly pulling away from that number 17. And now there is a 1.7 second gap between Lyle Mitchell and Mark Sikoshi, second and third, as Lyle Mitchell is 1.5 seconds behind your leader, Justin Cope, who has no lap traffic in front of him, and Lyle Mitchell still has to deal with the number 4 of Elijah Grant right in front of him. We have a car around on the back straightaway. Zachary Scott's around, and that brings out the caution. Gonna have to see what happened to car number 91, as Justin Cope's comfortable lead gets shrunk down to nothing with the wave of the yellow flags. Let's see what happened to car number 91 to bring out this caution. So coming out of turn 2, and just a little bit too much throttle put in for car number 91. Gets loose, nudges the inside wall, and that brings out the caution. Only a little bit of front end damage. to car number 91. But multiple cars on the lead, or in the lead group, come into pit lane. Mark Sikoshi, Lyle Mitchell, Adam Gracie all jump into pit lane, but Justin Cope stays out, looking to save a set of tires for later in the race. Definitely an interesting call from car number 59, but we've seen how he's able to be pretty fast on older tires, so it might not affect him too badly in the long run. And if I'm Justin Cope, I'm hoping for a, like a 20-lap green flag run, and then pit, and then green to the end to maximize the tire difference. With how fast the number 59 car is, I would not be surprised if he kind of makes it hard for the cars on fresher tires to get around him, because there are only two cars that are on as old of tires as Justin Cope, and that is Justin Cope and Adam DeFore. But pace car lights are off. And it's going to be Justin Cope leading Adam DeFore to the green flag. Lyle Mitchell, first car on fresh tires. And you see Mark Sikoshi, car number 8, right behind him. So it's going to be Adam DeFore acting as a barrier from the fresh tires to Justin Cope. Base car is in, waiting for the green flag to come back out for another restart, and green flag is out. A good start for Justin Cope as he smoothly rolls into the throttle on the exit of the corner, and he's going to pull out to about a half-second lead over Adam DeFore. Brian Wiggins putting up a fight with Lyle Mitchell. Cars 3 and 1 battling, but Mitchell using the grip that he has on the outside to power by car number 3. As you see, whoa, Adam Gracie got really loose getting past Mark Sikoshi. Maybe a little bit of door banging between cars 8 and 17. Gracie going to get around Sikoshi, but we've seen how quickly that 17 car uses up his tires. So will Sikoshi bide his time and wait, or will he try and bust a move on car number 17? You see him side by side right there, but Sikoshi not able to get the move made on car number 17. Lyle Mitchell catching up to the back end of Adam DeFore, as DeFore's in the wall down the front straightaway. That's gonna hurt his entry, so he's gonna let Lyle Mitchell by. So Lyle Mitchell on fresh tires trying to hunt down Justin Cope. As you see further in the back, Mark Sikoshi to the inside of Adam Gracie. Sikoshi trying to leverage his way past the 17 car, going to get it made, and Adam Gracie not able to mount a counterattack just yet. But for the lead, Lyle Mitchell harassing the back end of Justin Cope for the lead. Cope to the outside, going to try to use that outside line to his advantage to get that positive run and down the back straightaway. But I don't think that car has enough grip compared to Lyle Mitchell. So give the lead to car number 1. The first time in quite a while, we've had a leader that is not car number 59. But don't count him out just yet, because Justin Cope is on 41 lap older tires than Lyle Mitchell, and that's an extra set that he has to use in his back pocket in case he needs to. Adam Gracie looking to the inside of Brian Wiggins. Wiggins trying to get one of his laps back as he's 2 laps down. And there are multiple cars ahead of him, only 1 lap down. As, Gracie gets really loose up to the high side. I was looking at my timing board. I didn't see if they made contact or not. But that's going to put a wrench in Wiggins' plans to try and get a lap back, as Mark Sikoshi has gone around Adam DeFore in car number 5, past halfway here in the Myrtle Beach 400. as Justin Cope still fighting hard to the back end of Lyle Mitchell. It's like Cope is using that middle lane in turns 3 and 4 and kind of turning the car down the track, and he's able to keep up very good runs with Lyle Mitchell. But now he's going to be under fire from Mark Sikoshi. And the question is, how much has Sikoshi used up those fresh tires? And can Justin Cope hold him off? I think eventually the answer is going to be no. There's no way you can challenge a 40-lap tire deficit. See, Cope gets the outside wall a little bit. That car is getting a little bit slick. But Sikoshi going to be able to slide around Cope. So a Mark Sikoshi Inc. 1-2 right now with 95 laps to go, as Justin Cope hoping for a caution soon to get him ahead on strategy. Right behind him, Adam DeFore still putting up a good fight in 4th, running faster laps than Adam Gracie, who might have, you know, some sort of steering damage if his tires are wearing that quickly. As he ran a lap about 2/10 of a second slower than DeFore in front of him, and now he just matched DeFore's times despite being on 40-lap younger tires. But eventually the tires will catch up to cars 5 and 59. They're really banking on a caution happening sometime now, so they can get fuel and tires into those cars. They do not want to be making a green flag pit stop, because that would put them at a serious disadvantage. But further in the back, Robert Wiggins battling with Dylan Lansdell for the 8th position. Both these cars are 1 lap down, and Wiggins looking to pull a move on Lansdell. Lansdell on older tires than Robert Wiggins. I think Wiggins might have the grip to make it work, but not able to get anything forming for car number 26 just yet, as that 24 car has a really good drive on exit, but he overshoots the entrance of turn 3 just a little bit. That's going to allow Wiggins to jump to his inside. So battle is on for 8th, as Robert Wiggins looking at the inside of Dylan Lansdell, but Lansdell holding Wiggins off pretty soundly, as he's going to pull away on exit. Adam Gracie catching up to the back end of Adam DeFore, but he's got Terry Freer right on his outside, kind of taking away his line down the back straightaway. Like I said, the tire deficit will catch up to that 5 car first, since he's behind the 59, and Adam Gracie trying to get ahead of that number 5 car. But we've seen how slick this number 17 car is all race. How long will it be until that grip level starts to fade away for car number 17? Have to check in just a little bit, as well. We see Mark Sikoshi going a little bit slow. Maybe he got a little bit loose on corner exit. Just about to say that he's closed the gap between him and Lyle Mitchell to under a second. But with that, it's gone back up to just over a second. I tell you what, Justin Cope and Adam DeFore on these old tires are still putting up one heck of a good showing. Just showing how good those cars are set up. This is an open setup league. Everyone is running different setups, tailored to each driver's preferences. You can see DeFore trying to hold off Gracie, as Gracie tries to paint that white line on the bottom, but DeFore using that momentum on the outside to hold off Gracie down the straightaway. Gracie with a shallow entry. That's going to slow him up throughout the entire corner. and DeFore able to keep that number 17 in his rear view mirror. But now Gracie to the inside of DeFore, still not able to get the drive that he was expecting, but he's able to fling it into the corners. DeFore is there. Gracie giving him a little bit of a message as he finally gets around car number 5. I think DeFore not too happy about that move, but not too much you can do with such a large tire deficit. But further in the back, for a battle raging between Dylan Lansdell and Robert Wiggins. Crossover from Lansdell in the making, but Wiggins closes that off as he takes the 8th spot. As he takes the 8th spot from Dylan Lansdell, we see Elijah Grant in the wall up just ahead, kind of forcing Lansdell to check up a little bit. But great racing happening throughout the entire field, as that caution that Justin Cope and Adam DeFore were hoping for not coming to fruition just yet. Now Justin Cope is running equal times with Sakoshi and Mitchell. He was actually that time by the fastest of the top 3, but he's 1.2 seconds behind Mark Sakoshi, about 2.5 seconds behind Lyle Mitchell. So he's going to need a caution to fall in his favor, but he's in a pretty good spot, I would argue. As if a caution comes out right now, it would be a great time for him to pit. At the very least, get on equal tires with the cars in front. Further back, the battle for 4th between Gracie and DeFore heating up once again. DeFore has not gone anywhere, and in fact has reeled in Gracie a little bit after Gracie got past car number 5. And these two battling have brought Ray Partridge. They've brought Ray Partridge into the mix, as he's only, and the caution comes out, and I think it might be for Tony Freer, as race control saying was he was driving a little bit slow. Let's see what happened to end this pretty long green flag run. All right, and coming out of turn number 4, it's going to be between Tony Freer and Elijah Grant. Freer tries to get the move made on Grant. This is 4th position, and he gets really loose down the front straightaway. Tries to correct it to not go head on into the inside wall, and then tries to get slowed down for the corner. And ooh, yeah, just collects Elijah Grant. He backs into the outside wall a little bit. Grant obviously not too happy about that, but I think Freer just got a little bit loose and unfortunately sent him around. But that was something that Justin Cope needed pretty bad, as he gets tires on car number 59. You see Lyle Mitchell was the first car out, and then Mark Sakoshi, Justin Cope, Adam Gracie, Adam DeFore, Ray Partridge, Robert Wiggins, and Dylan Lansdell. So coming out first from pit lane, it's car number 1, Lyle Mitchell. With 72 laps to go, he's had a strong car and has really shown it off with Justin Cope on older tires. But now with that 59 car on fresh tires, will he be able to keep Justin Cope behind him for the remainder of this race? Luckily, he has a teammate, his team owner, and Mark Sakoshi in second. But we saw how quickly Justin Cope rocketed to the front of the field at the start of this race. This is pretty much almost an exact replica of it. The same top 3 in the same or in almost the same order. And Justin Cope shot to the front, but it's going to be Lyle Mitchell leading the field after a long green flag run comes to an end. Lyle Mitchell leading the field to the green flag. Pace car is in. He's going way up towards the wall and not letting anyone on his outside, and he's going to get a good start.
Green, green, green.
Coming to the green flag. Justin Cope going to clear lap traffic to the inside. Adam Gracie not able to just yet, but he's going to be able to do it on the exit of turn 2. Cope looking to get past Sikoshi as quickly as possible, as DeFore looking to work on Adam Gracie right in front of him. You see Colton English a little bit slow on the inside as Elijah Grant hits the wall. But Adam DeFore looking to the outside of Gracie. Gracie going to power by on the inside to hold him off, but DeFore looking very fast on fresh tires in car number 5, looking to build up a massive run to the outside of Gracie. And almost there for car number 5. And he's going to really sling it to the outside of Gracie in turns 3 and 4. But Gracie holding off DeFore for the time being. And yeah, car number 5 not able to get around Gracie just yet. But we've seen how hard Gracie drives. That number 17. See him scrape the wall just a little bit. But further up front, Justin Cope closing in to the back end of Mark Sikoshi. And the question is, how quickly can Justin Cope get past Mark Sikoshi? We know that these two are pretty much tit for tat in terms of lap times as the run goes on. So Cope needs to get ahead of Sikoshi as soon as possible and put as much distance between him and the 8. But he also has to worry about that one car in front of him. Behind them, Adam DeFore got to the inside of Adam Gracie and gonna really send it into turn 1. A little bit of contact made between DeFore and Gracie. Maybe a little bit of a message sent from car number 5 as Gracie looks to the inside of DeFore. DeFore is gonna try and pull away here from that 17 car. And if I was Adam DeFore, I would really try to get away as soon as possible to a safe distance. But Gracie's still looking to the inside on entry. DeFore still has him on exit though, and that's where it matters the most, is on exit. But here comes Gracie to the inside of DeFore. Ooh, a little bit big loose moment from car number 17, and that's going to allow DeFore to slither away a little bit after a little bit of contact that shoved Adam Gracie up the track. Justin Cope applying the pressure in heaps on Mark Sikoshi as Mark Sikoshi tries to hold him off and help his driver secure a win here in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. Is these two very equally matched. And I tell you what, Lyle Mitchell has only gotten faster as the race progresses. But less than 60 laps to go here in the Myrtle Beach 400. And Lyle Mitchell's car has really come alive. Justin Cope and Mark Sikoshi still have a strong car, but they're not making up tons of ground to that number 1 car. They might need a caution, a little bit of good luck to help them on their way. Now the field spreading out quite a lot now as Adam DeFore in the 4th position. Adam Gracie in 5th. Back in 6th is Ray Partridge having a pretty quiet night in car number 29. Very typical Ray Partridge night, if I do have to say so myself. Very quiet run, but finishing finishing well for car number 29. Behind him is car number 28, Jason Grumley, who's having a good run for car number 28 standards, last season's All-Star winner. And in 8th, it's Robert Wiggins, first car 1 lap down in car number 26. And behind him in 9th, this is battle for position between cars 26 and 24, Dylan Lansdell trying to get into the lucky dog position. Behind him, he's been lapped the entire race. Brian Wiggins still trying to get back on the lead lap, but those hopes getting bleaker and bleaker with each time he crosses the start-finish line. And he's in 10th. In 11th, it's Terry Freer in the wall a little bit down the back straightaway, just trying to close out his night. 11th behind him, it's Elijah Grant in car number 4, not the follow-up to the Daytona win that he was looking for. But then Colton English in 13th, car number 45, 7 laps down. And last car running right now is car number 91, is Zachary Scott, also 4 laps down. Going back to the battle for second, Justin Cope really trying to leverage a run down the straights to try and get something working on Mark Sikoshi. He takes a really wide entry and then brings it down the track, trying to straighten out the corner as much as possible. But he's going to need a little bit of, he might need a little bit of lap car help from the 91 of Zach Scott if he wants to get side by side with Sikoshi, because Sikoshi's been doing a great job of playing defense in the second position. But here comes Justin Cope to the inside of Mark Sikoshi for second place. Side by side down the back straightaway, Justin Cope going to have a nose ahead of the 8 car into turn 3. Sikoshi going to dive it in on the outside, trying to build up as much of a run as possible to keep that 59 behind him. You see how loose Cope got on the exit. He's really pedaling that car, trying his hardest to get around Sikoshi. He knows this is a prime opportunity to get past the 8 car and set his sights on the leader. But Sikoshi able to use that outside line to hold off Cope, but the curves front straight strikes again, and it's gonna be Justin Cope back to the inside of Sikoshi, taking the shortest way around the front straight and turns 1 and 2 to stay alongside car number 8. Sikoshi clears Cope through the center of the corner and on exit, so Sikoshi able to hold off car number 59 for the time being. But the question is, how much longer can Sikoshi do that? Because he was really chucking it on the outside to keep Cope behind him, and that does a number on the tires. But we also saw how hard Justin Cope was driving that number 59. But that little battle has allowed Lyle Mitchell to pull away by about 0.7 of a second than from before that battle breaking out. And these 2 cars in second and third also have to deal with the lapped car of Terry Freer, car number 46. He's going to go to the outside and try and let both these guys by, but Cope gets held up a little bit. Was not expecting Freer to be right on his outside, or right on his racing line, and he had to check up just a little bit. But that has opened the gap between second and third to about half a second. And Justin Cope might need a late caution to try and get him back to the front, because Lyle Mitchell is pulling away. They matched lap times last time by, but that's something you can't be doing with 43 laps to go and you're 2.3 seconds behind the leader. You got to be making up that time in chunks. And who knows how easy Lyle Mitchell is taking it. He could be taking it very easy and saving something in store in case anyone tries to challenge him, as Mark Sikoshi getting around the 45 of Colton English. English holding the inside. Sakoshi's going to get past him. And then Justin Cope going to get around car number 45 as well. Coming to 40 laps to go here in the Myrtle Beach 400 here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, well into the night. And these green flag runs have really paid off in favor of Lyle Mitchell and Mark Sakoshi, as they pitted at just the right time to get the track position that they needed. And it's paid off in spades in keeping both Justin Cope and Adam DeFord behind him. Zachary Scott actually just made up a position on Colton English, so that moves Colton English back into the 14th spot and Zachary Scott into 13th. But 38 laps to go here, and starting to slip away for Justin Cope. Sakoshi extending his gap to about 1 second. As Sakoshi gonna try and make up 1.6 seconds in 37 laps to see if that's possible, but he gained a lot of time that last time by Lyle Mitchell. Had some sort of slip up on corner entry, as he said a 20.1. Mark Sakoshi said a 19.9. So that was 0.2 given to Mark Sakoshi. And Lyle Mitchell has to drive a very solid and consistent remaining 35 laps without any cautions if he wants to take home the win here. $34 to go for Lyle Mitchell to secure his first win of the season here. He went really high in the corners, so I think he's trying to get higher and higher in the corners in 1 and 2, trying to search for grip as those rear tires start to wear on car number 1. Adam DeFord back in 4th, kind of just hanging on to that 4th place spot. But Mark Sakoshi has gapped Justin Cope by about a second now, and starting to pull away. Cope starting to fall off in terms of lap times. Maybe his car was better suited for during the day, and he was not expecting to have a slugfest at night, and the track cooled down way more than he expected. But someone who this has played out for marvelously, it's Lyle Mitchell. And car number 1 still has about a 1.5 second gap over second place and keeping it very consistent. But he is coming up on lead lap cars ahead who might not be too keen on going laps down. That is Jason Crumley. Jason Crumley ahead of car number 1. And if Lyle Mitchell puts that 28 car lap down, as we just saw him plow the outside wall, so he just put him a lap down, that brings the total cars on the lead lap down to 6. So 7th and back is a lap down. So over half of the field that registered for this event is now a lapped car. But Sakoshi now has to deal with Jason Crumley, and Lyle Mitchell got by that 28 car pretty much as easily as possible. The 28 hitting the outside wall right in front of him gave him pretty much a wide open track to do so. Crumley not giving the same amount of room to Sakoshi that he gave to Mitchell, but I don't think it held up Sakoshi that much. See that 45 of Colton English on fresh tires, running around right behind Justin Cope. He's currently 14th and 11 laps down, but he needed to take tires. And it seems like the old set of tires that he had were not working out for him. The car in pit lane, Elijah Grant jumps into pit lane. So he's going to go more laps down. He might even lose a spot to Zachary Scott as he'll be stuck in pit lane, probably getting a fresh set of tires on car number 4. As yes, Zachary Scott now takes over the 12th spot for car number 91. So that relegates Elijah Grant back into 13th. Not a great night to capitalize off of that Daytona win for Elijah Grant. And Lyle Mitchell really hoping that a caution does not come out, because he has a very comfortable lead over his boss, Mark Sikoshi, in second. Cars 1 and 8 started 1-2, and right now are running 1-2, with Justin Cope and Adam DeFore following those two drivers. And unsurprisingly, last time by, Lyle Mitchell was the fastest car on track, and continuing to show why he's deserving of the lead. But Mark Sikoshi catching the back end of car number 46, Terry Freer. And they're side by side in turns 3 and 4. Freer getting out of the way of the lead lap cars, and Justin Cope. If I'm him, I'm really hoping for a late race caution, just something to happen to spice things up. But he's going to dive to the inside of Freer, and Colton English looking to follow the 59 through past the 46. And Cope is trying to Cope is trying to catch up to Sikoshi. Gap's about 0.8 of a second, but who knows if he'll have enough time to do it. 19 laps here is not a lot of time to catch up to and pass a very fast car in front of you. Here at Myrtle Beach, you kind of have to work the other person over for positions. We saw how hard it was for Justin Cope to get around Mark Sikoshi when Sikoshi just had to chuck it in on the outside, and that car stuck, and was able to use that run off the high side, straightening out the corners essentially to keep that 59 car behind him. $16 laps to go for Lyle Mitchell. 64 corners to go, or rather I should say 62, as he's going through turns 3 and 4 right now, until he can hold the checkered flag in his hands. Got 15 more as he works around Robert Wiggins. Mark Sikoshi closing in on that one car ever so slightly. Gap now down to 1.2 seconds between cars 1 and 8. But that also puts a lapped car in between first and second place. But I think Wiggins is going to let Sikoshi by without too much of a fuss. And he does. So Sikoshi trying to hunt down his teammate and his personal driver, Lyle Mitchell, in the dying stages of this race. It's a good run out of turn 2, trying to use the momentum to close the gap between him and first place. If he can make it happen, it would be huge for him in the points, because he is, if I'm not mistaken, he's a little bit far back in the points. Yeah, he's third in points right now, and the two people in front of him. But caution comes out as we were talking about points, and that's Dylan Lansdell parked against the inside wall down the front straightaway. big time caution here for Dylan Lansdale, as let's get a replay to see what happened to him. As you have to imagine Lyle Mitchell's heart just sank as he has to see that gap he built dissipate in front of him, or dissipate right in his hands. Coming out of turn 4, looking at the 24 of Dylan Lansdale, trying to get that the power down on that car. Looks like he just did not have the rear grip, and the car just stepped out on him. And unfortunately, he had nowhere to go but the inside wall, and bounced right back onto the racing surface. Good on him for keeping it pinned against the wall. But unfortunately, it does bring out a caution. Jason Crumley does the wise thing and pulls into pit lane on those old tires. So with caution laps counting, I believe we'll have a restart with 7 to go. And the top 4 all took tires, or top 5 actually all took tires. So everyone on equal tire wear now. What can Justin Cope do from that 3rd position? He has to get a mammoth start and get around Mark Sakoshia really quick. And then he might have something for Lyle Mitchell. This is real. If Lyle Mitchell doesn't get wrecked, this is his race to lose, because he has time and teamwork on his side. But it's going to be Lyle Mitchell leading the field to green with 7 laps to go, and a consequential restart here. The Myrtle Beach 400 coming to the green flag. Green flag is out. Lyle Mitchell with a great start. As the caution comes out, not sure for what. I think it might be for Justin Cope. Oh, Justin Cope's around. Justin Cope got sent around off camera, and that's going to put a dasher on his hopes for the win. Let's get a replay to see what happened to car number 59. So coming to the green flag, you can see Cope getting up to speed, and that car just darts to the left. And oh, Zachary Scott gets a piece of it as Cope bounces to the outside. Now a bunch of cars did get black flags on the start, but they were cleared. So maybe that kind of caught Cope off guard, and and that momentary lack of concentration kind of kicked his car to the inside. But Lyle Mitchell now has even less time to get to the checkered flag. I believe we'll have a restart with 2 laps to go. So we'll have sort of a natural green-white checkered when we get back going green. And that moves Adam DeFore up into the 3rd spot. So really all Lyle Mitchell has to do is get a good start, which he's been doing all night, and then hold on to that lead. So pace car lights are out. We'll be going green flag racing for the final restart with 2 laps to go. It's going to be Lyle Mitchell trying to hold on for his first win of the season, with reigning champion Mark Sakoshia starting right behind him. Adam DeFore hungry for the win if both of these cars get sideways. And we know how fast that number 5 car is, but it's all going to be up to Lyle Mitchell and his ability to get a good start. Green flag is out, and a good start for Lyle Mitchell, as Adam DeFore going to look to the inside of Mark Sikoshi for second place. Not going to be able to make it happen. Mark Sikoshi going to try to play defense for Lyle Mitchell right here. I don't think that he's going to have the space to get to the inside of car number 1. White flag in the air for Lyle Mitchell. Adam DeFore looks to the inside of Sikoshi, but Sikoshi blocks it off, and DeFore's got Grace to worry about. But 2 more corners for Lyle Mitchell to bring it home. And car number 1, Lyle Mitchell, will come home with the win here in the Myrtle Beach 400 after a calamitous last 10 laps to close out this 200-lap race. Coming home in second, it's going to be Mark Sikoshi, and rounding out your podium, Adam DeFore in car number 5. Those are going to be the 3 people. Those are going to be the 3 people you interview, or we interview tonight for driver interviews, since they finish in the top 3. But let's get your finishing results up on the board real quick. Coming home with the win, it's going to be Lyle Mitchell, and in second, Mark Sikoshi, finishing out the Mark Sikoshi Inc. 1-2 here in the Myrtle Beach 400, with Adam DeFore rounding out your podium. Justin Cope claws back from that late race spin to finish 4th, and Jason Crumley with a surprise top 5 for car number 28. Good finish for him. In 6th, first car outside of the top 5, it's going to be Ray Partridge. And then in 7th, Adam Gracie slides all the way back to 7th after a top 5 run all race. Dylan Lansdell comes home 8th. I believe he was the first car 1 lap down. Then in 9th, Robert Wiggins, followed by his brother Brian Wiggins in 10th. First car outside of the top 10 is going to be Terry Freer in his first start, coming home 11th. Colin English, car number 45, in 12th. Zachary Scott had a frustrating race, and he's going to bring it home in 13th, followed by Elijah Grant and Tony Kurgel. Tony Kurgel did not finish this race. The only car out of your 15 starters to not finish here at Myrtle Beach. Don't go anywhere, as we still have driver interviews to do. Please stand by. All right, welcome you back to the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. We just finished the Myrtle Beach 400, and we will start off with your race winner for interviews, Lyle Mitchell in car number 1. Let's get him into the booth. Lyle Mitchell coming home in first in car number 1, bringing home your first win of the season. How does it feel to get a win here at this super tough track at Myrtle Beach?
It feels amazing. I mean, we've been doing this all season. Like, last week wasn't the greatest race for me. I mean, I got wrecked out last season. I came in towards the end. I led a lot of laps at Martinsville, had a little goof up, and just finally back in this number one's in victory lane for the first time. I can't think about anything else. I'm so happy right now.
So yeah, during the middle of the race, we saw Justin Cope really start to pull away from it. During that part, were you ever worried that, he might be just too fast to catch? But luckily, you eventually got past him and were the one in victory lane. But did that thought linger in the back of your mind as you were trying to hound him down during the middle of the race?
Yeah, I mean, it did, but I had one of the best. I mean, Mark is one of the best people to talk to during races. He helped me calm me down. He told me, "Hey, we have a whole 100 laps left." We took that one of the last pit stops, and when Culp and DeFord didn't pit, I mean, I took my advantage, got the lead, and I never looked back. I mean, I knew I had a fast car all night. As we knew, as soon as it got night, it was going to be quick.
Oh, and quick it was. So before we let you go and celebrate your first win in the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Definitely my parents. I mean, hell, they pushed me through everything. My uncle, he picked up a win last night in the super dirt late model. IRD for sure. The sponsor of the league, amazing. John Bittler, Mark Scocci Inc. All those guys, the guys behind the scenes, all the admins, all the drivers. I show up every week. You for broadcasting this every week, and nobody else. I feel like.
Well, I think you covered pretty much all the bases in your thanks. So we'll let you go and celebrate this win just a little bit more. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. When we go to San Diego.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one for sure. It's gonna be something interesting to learn about.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there. All right, and coming home in second, it's going to be Mark Sikoshi coming home in second. And man, this is a pretty terrible camera angle. Let's see if we can get something a little bit more flattering. There we go. All right, let's bring him into the booth. Coming home in second, it's car number 8, Mark Sikoshi. A 1-2 for Mark Sikoshi Inc. How you feeling after a very strong run here at Myrtle Beach?
Pretty damn good, man. It was nice to see Lyle get his first, not only his first Gen 4 Cup win, but his first win in the league, I believe.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is his first win in the league as well. So I asked Lyle this, but during the middle of the race, we saw Justin Cope really start to pull away from the field. Was there any doubt in your mind during the middle of the race that there was no catching him? I mean, eventually you did and you got past him, but was that thought there in the back of your mind in the middle stages of that race as he's starting to pull away from both you and Lyle Mitchell?
It was hard to say. We had a lot of race, especially me. I had a lot of racing to do. I'm coming up through the field. I'm burning up tires a little bit more than those guys. So I made some adjustments here and there. I don't think any of them really improved it. I don't think Lyle made a change, and car was solid. We really needed a really long run to show what our car had. Like, yeah, we had short run speed is decent, but the long run, I mean, it really shined, and you saw it there at the end until that final yellow come out. But yeah, Cope as usual on these short tracks, really strong. He's always a threat. Mile and a half short tracks, especially short tracks. He had 3 wins, I think, last season. So yeah, he's always pretty fast. He's going to be right there in the mix. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had an up and down night. We went down a lap there early because of the contact with Gracie and backed it into the wall a little bit, and we still had some damage there at the end. I'm not sure how much that played a role, but from another some more contact there. I think from Gracie again there, got into her door, but yeah, overall a solid night, ended, really well, and really happy for Lyle.
So yeah, before we let you go and celebrate Lyle's win, a 1-2 for Mark Sakoshi Inc., and rather good momentum from a second place finish here at Myrtle Beach into San Diego next week. Do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Of course, we got to thank IRD Racing. If anybody needs any custom carburetor work done, get a hold of John Bittler at irdracing.com. Got to thank everybody out there who watches us every week, friends and family. Got to thank our all of our drivers that show up week in and week out. A lot of these guys put a lot of effort into these setups. We're still trying to grow this thing. We're just getting started. Got to thank thank my team. They make this a lot of fun to do every week, and got to thank you for putting on a good broadcast.
All right, well, that's last season's champion, Marcus Sakoshi, with a great start to the first two races of his season, a third and a second for him to try and repeat as a champion, hopefully, this season. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to San Diego.
Thank you, Garrett.
All right, and coming home in third, it's going to be Adam DeFore. In car number 5. Let's get him into the booth. Coming home in third, it's Adam DeFore with a strong run all night long and gets rewarded with a third place finish. How are you feeling after a very strong performance here at Myrtle Beach?
Oh, kind of tired, man. That was a battle the whole race, it felt like.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Speaking of battling, you were battling like crazy with Adam Gracie, and then towards the end of that battle, we saw a little bit of a nudge from you to Gracie, and almost looked like you were trying to send a message. Was that incidental contact, or were you kind of tired of the way that Gracie was racing you?
I mean, it was a little incidental, but I kind of got tired of him dive bombing me. And then I would go to pass him, and he would chop my nose off. So I just stuck my nose in there and stood my ground, honestly.
And I tell you what, it worked out in your favor because you're the one in third, and he is not. Were you expecting yourself to be in this position towards the end of this race? Because I thought for sure the top 3 was going to be Lyle Mitchell, Mark Sakoshi, and Justin Cope, and then surprisingly Justin Cope had a rare miscue at the end of one of these short track races, and it fell into your lap, and you got in third place. So were you expecting that to happen at all?
Well, I wasn't even expecting to get a 4th place. So, but then Justin spun out. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if he just spun the tires on the restart or what. But yeah, I running practice laps and stuff yesterday. I was not expecting to be anywhere towards the front.
Well, I tell you what, despite your expectations, you finished in third. So before we let you go and ride the good momentum of a podium result here at Myrtle Beach, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank all the guys at Brian Wiggins Racing, Ray and Dylan and Ray and Brian. Just a good group of dudes to race with, and shout out to Lyle Mitchell for his win tonight. It was pretty good.
All right, well, that's Adam DeFore coming home a strong third place finish. Even if he didn't expect it, it's still a great result for him. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to San Diego.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, and with that wrapped up, I can close this, and we can start wrapping things up here for the broadcast. Thank you for watching the National Sim Racing Gen 4 Cup Series race here at Myrtle Beach for the Myrtle Beach 400. Big thank you to IRD Racing and John Bittler for sponsoring this series. Big shout out to them. They make all of this possible with their support. So if you're looking to take your real world racing program to the next level, especially in the world of fuel injection and carburetors, go to iRacing.com. There's a reason why people call them the king of carburetors. It's because of their superior products and customer service. Big thank you to David at Fireball Talks NASCAR for allowing me to broadcast on this channel and allowing me to broadcast this great league to you. Big thanks to everyone who showed up to this race night. Big thanks to Andrew Schulte and SKS Graphics for their ticker and ticker help. Couldn't do it without them. If you need tickers or ticker help for broadcasts on iRacing, go to Andrew Schulte and SKS Graphics. They'll have something for you. And big thank you to you, the viewer, for watching. Next Saturday night, we'll be going to Naval Base Coronado in San Diego, California for a Naval Base street race in the Gen 4 Cup Series here on Fireball Talks NASCAR next Saturday night at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you there. But from here on out, it's going to be Garrett Hess broadcasting these races, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next races. Y'all take it easy.